Imagine stepping into a courtroom convinced that your father's badge makes you untouchable, that your last name is a master key, opening every door, closing every case, that judges, prosecutors, even the law itself bends when your family name is spoken. Now imagine taking that belief so far that you openly threaten a judge on camera in a packed courtroom. That is exactly what happened when 23-year-old Madison Cross, daughter of Providence Police Chief Robert Cross, walked into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom. What began as a routine traffic citation spiraled into a shocking confrontation that no one in that room, and eventually the internet, would ever forget. Her entitled outburst, captured live on the court's live stream, didn't just stun the gallery. It exploded across social media within hours. But it was Judge Caprio's response, the calm, calculated way he dismantled the arrogance of a young woman who believed she could intimidate her way out of accountability, that turned this moment into something unforgettable. What happens next won't just leave you speechless. It will restore your faith in one powerful idea. Absolutely no one is above the law. Before we show you Madison Cross's spectacular downfall and Judge Caprio's masterclass in standing firm against entitlement, let's ask a serious question. Should family connections in law enforcement shield someone from consequences? Should the daughter of a police chief receive special treatment when she breaks the law? If you believe accountability should apply to everyone, not politicians, not celebrities, and certainly not police chiefs' children, then subscribe right now. We bring you the most powerful courtroom moments where justice defeats privilege, where judges like Frank Caprio prove that character matters more than connections. Hit that subscribe button and join over 800,000 viewers who believe respect is earned, not inherited. And comment below, was Judge Caprio's response perfect, or should he have gone even harder on this entitled brat? Because what you're about to witness is exactly why Judge Caprio is one of America's most respected judges. This police chief's daughter thought she could intimidate him. She was completely wrong. Providence Municipal Court, a historic courthouse where Judge Frank Caprio has spent more than 3 decades delivering justice with a rare balance of compassion and unshakable integrity. Marble floors worn smooth by generations seeking mercy. Wooden benches that have seen tears, redemption, and reckoning. Tall windows flooding the courtroom with natural light, illuminating the scales of justice. This is where Judge Caprio earned his reputation for humanity, giving struggling single mothers payment plans, dismissing tickets for elderly veterans, helping people instead of crushing them. But compassion is not weakness. And when someone mistakes kindness for vulnerability, they learn very quickly that Frank Caprio's authority comes from fairness, not fear. At exactly 10:17 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, the courtroom doors swing open with unusual force. Every head turns. Click, click, click. The sharp echo of designer heels against marble announces her arrival. Madison Cross enters, and everything about her screams entitlement. 23 years old, blonde hair professionally styled into loose waves catching the morning light. A navy Chanel blazer, easily $4,000, draped perfectly over a silk blouse. A Saint Laurent handbag hanging from her shoulder, worth more than most people's rent. Diamond stud earrings glint as she moves. Her stride carries the confidence of someone who has never been denied by anyone who mattered. But it's more than the clothes. It's the posture. Chin raised slightly, eyes scanning the room as if deciding whether anyone present deserves her attention. A Cartier watch on her wrist probably costs more than the bailiff earns in 3 months. An iPhone 15 Pro Max remains in her hand because whatever's on that screen is clearly more important than court. The gallery, filled with everyday people fighting parking tickets, small business owners disputing violations, working-class citizens just trying to survive, watches her with thinly veiled irritation. They recognize the type instantly. The line cutter, the handicap spot parker, the person who treats service workers like furniture. Judge Caprio observes quietly. In over 30 years on the bench, he's seen every defendant imaginable. The frightened teens, desperate parents, repeat offenders, and yes, the entitled. His face stays neutral, but his eyes are sharp. Something about Madison Cross sets off warning bells. "Good morning, Miss Cross." Judge Caprio begins, his voice warm but formal. Regular viewers know this tone. When he uses your full name, you should pay attention. "How are you today?" Madison looks up, irritation flashing across her flawless makeup. "Not guilty, obviously. My father is Police Chief Robert Cross. He already explained this was just a misunderstanding." Judge Caprio raises his hand, firm but calm. "Miss Cross, your father's position has no relevance here. Tell me what happened." What follows is a slow, devastating unraveling. Traffic footage. Dashcam audio. A recorded threat to a police officer. Video evidence showing Madison accelerating past an ambulance responding to a cardiac arrest, then flipping it off. The courtroom listens in stunned silence as firefighters testify that the delay cost a grandfather critical seconds, seconds that led to permanent brain damage. A life altered forever because someone was late for lunch. Madison's confidence cracks, then shatters. She grows defensive, angry, and finally reckless. Pointing her finger at the bench, she threatens Judge Caprio outright, mentions her father's influence, promises consequences. That's when the room changes. Judge Caprio rises slowly, his presence commanding absolute silence. His voice carries the weight of 3 decades of justice. He explains, calmly, clearly, that this courtroom does not bend to power, money, or family names. And then he delivers the verdict. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Contempt of court. Jail. Effective immediately. Handcuffs click. Designer possessions spill across the floor. A luxury watch glints against cold steel. For the first time in her life, Madison Cross faces real consequences. 6 months later, she returns to that same courtroom. Unrecognizable. No designer clothes. No arrogance. Just accountability. Community service completed. Lives changed. Lessons learned the hard way. Judge Caprio looks at her and does what great judges do. Balances justice with mercy. And that's how a police chief's daughter learned that threatening Judge Frank Caprio was the worst and best mistake of her life. If you believe no one is above the law, subscribe now.